Hello everyone, Miss Mitty here, and as you can see, my background is very different because I am at school. But for the first time in 3 years, I have my own room. You would think that's a win, it's actually very isolating. So to lift my spirits, I'm going to do what I do best, play a video game. And I thought, what better than, me, a disabled girl, play the disabled dating sim. So this is that. I just realized I don't have a mouse. This can't possibly go well. Okay, so the real name is Katawa Shoujo. I actually am studying Japanese, so this is really embarrassing if I just butchered that. I never promised quality, but I can promise entertainment. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. I fear I don't know that word. Tree decides The trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I probably said that too much. Was that too much? I hate reading on camera. I breathe into my cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4 p.m. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. It's a good time I'm going in blind. As I ponder the meaning of this note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching from behind. Hi, so you came? A hesitating, barely audible question. Oh, my bad, I read it wrong. Barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. I feel like I'm gonna say it wrong. Okay. Iwanako? This is embarrassing because I'm literally in a Japanese class right now. You're gonna butcher me in the comments anyway, so, Iwanako? It's like, I don't know because sometimes I break up the word when it should just be... Okay, anyway, I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. That feels threatening. My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out of my chest and claim this girl for itself. So, here we are, out in the cold. Yeah, my girl only has stockings on. I worry about you. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches in the... Oh, God, I know this one too. Oh my God, I'm gonna look so stupid in this video. I promise I could say this. I actually do know this word. But I'm terrified of saying it on camera. So I'm just gonna say, the symphony of noise. It's music to my ears. Yeah, that's similar enough. Iwanako flinches ever so slightly against the gust of wind, 'cause homegirl is probably cold. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine as she lazily twirls her long dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. It's kind of a lame dating sim, considering we didn't even choose who we're dating. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. This is a really lame dating sim. I stand there, motionless, save for the pounding of my heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. See, is it Haiso or Haiso? Or am I so off? Like, I don't know. It's not like I could really ask anyone, like, hey, anyone know? Again, y'all will correct me in the comments, I'm sure. Haiso. We're gonna say Haiso. I'm sorry, I'm Southern. I'm just a Southern girl, okay? I reach up to try to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. I don't think that's normal. You might want to get that checked out. Haiso? This is going to be so embarrassing if I'm saying it all wrong. My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Haiso, I think that's your name. The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. Bro got confessed to and was so shocked he had a heart attack. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches and dull winter sky, Iwanako runs towards me, all these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanako screaming for help and the inconsistent clatter of the branches above. Incessant? Did I say that right? Like, I don't know. Why did I choose a dating sim? Oh, we're alive. Oh, is this like the intro? Is that what's happening? Nice IV drip. All too familiar. So I think for future reference, maybe we shouldn't go out on dates if it leads to our heart attacks. That's unfortunate, truly. Oh, I was right, okay. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Damn it, put you under that much pressure? In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. You have no idea. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign, alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Maybe this is a little too familiar. Apparently I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? Anyway, is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. Yeah, this hitting a little too close. I really didn't do anything to cheer me up. Or it really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents I think were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. Like brain hemorrhages? Or other... What were we talking about? Oh yeah, hemorrhages. I'm gonna assume brain hemorrhages. Right? I had already had a full day by then to God, I cannot talk today, which is just making this all worse. I have already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. See, that's very American core. I might be a little too extreme, but that's very American. Anyway. Of course, there isn't a cure. Yeah. Yeah, there rarely is. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I mean, you can't expect people to care for that long. I realized the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. Well, at least you know she kind of cared about you for real. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. Well, you're not really patient. Anyway, for the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking it as some kind of omen. Yeah, they had a disabled person write this. I still ask the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point, I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. Damn, they had a disabled person, right? I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands, but I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness through a barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside just to lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely. and I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time, sorting his papers and setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Haiso. How are you today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted out, and I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? The absurdly long... Sorry, I recognize some of my own... The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from this paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. See, I know big words. Often. This is insane. Well, that's like symptoms, right? That's not the name of the medication. We should be good. Oh, it's the side effects. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I tried to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All of this for the rest of my life. Every day. I'm afraid that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be too... Oh my god, why can't I read today? So I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. So it's just the symptoms of the minute. How many medications do you take in? I love that I'm being nosy, as if I actually know the character. Years. What kind of confidence booster is that? I have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents. We believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Yeah, that's a little odd. That's a little odd to be like, yeah, no, you're not going back to your old school. Like, other than medicine, which you presumably could take in the middle of the day, why are we being shipped off? Please calm down, Haiso. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down. The way he tells me, he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I gonna be homeschooled? Yeah, you know, I would be scared of that, so that's a valid crash out. Whatever of my concern shows, it's ignored. You all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. I mean, whatever. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. That feels like something you'd test in the hospital and not when you're... Whatever. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku. Yeah, Yamaku. I know that's cool. See? There's something in here. Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Yeah, I know the story all too well. Disabled? What? Am I? This is like watching a superhero be like, oh my gosh, Disabled? Oh no! It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of the students live on campus. Honestly, that sounds fire. That sounds really fire, actually. Like, as someone, again, with a disability, that would be fire. I'd swap schools. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. No, the doctor is real. Doctor is real for this. I second this decision. I second it. Because I would go there. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. I really don't think they were. I mean, they were pretty straightforward. Anyway. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. That's worse. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it. There's a bunch of girls there. I mean, I don't know. Haven't played this game. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. It kinda is. I'm siding with the doctor. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, a special school. Those darn special kids. That's an insult. That is what I wanted to say. It's a step down. Yeah, what can I say? The disabled folk are at the very bottom of the ladder. I could also make a stare joke right now, but I don't think I will. It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. This place sounds fire. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. I like you, Dr. Man. I like your magic words, Doctor. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I like Dr. Man. I think we were shitting on him too soon. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. Oh, I gotta be good on the first video. I mean, he's not entirely wrong either. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. Get used to it. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now, something about how I could go back to school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. The fact is that I know now it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all of this. The hospitals, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. Real. Anyway, there really isn't a choice, I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. You are really not trying to be positive, bro. Whatever. But let me try. Please, I would love to hear this. I would love to be a part of this journey. I would love to hear the positivity. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something, even if it is a special school. It's something. A fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. Yeah. Let's see. I think that's us. Life expectancy. That's not a great way to start out. Hey, we got an achievement. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. Are disabled people not allowed to have nice things? Jeez. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. Where is the optimism? Where's the optimism we were just talking about? I wonder if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have, more like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh-cut grass and all other park-like things. Surprised there's stairs. I hope there's a ramp. Me with my college. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. Disgusting. I wanted to see a college girl's vomit on the side of the sidewalk. How dare they keep this disabled campus clean? I shake it off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopy. Too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. Kinda eerie. Well, what time is it? Because if it's the middle of the day, they're probably in class. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again. How they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is calming color. So why am I feeling anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. I mean, in theory, you actually could just walk out. Feeling nervous, and with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. Oh, it is a ramp! A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Nikki? Naki? I don't know. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto? Muto? I'm gonna say that. Again, correct me in the comments. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy. He looks at his watch. The head nurse asked you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should get along and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow, not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost miss what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? We're gonna make him positive. Whether you like it or not. You're gonna be positive now. Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. You gonna put him in an elevator? It's so evil. And there's a ramp behind him at least. I'm so confused on the setup. The third floor, down the third corridor, is marked as the classroom for class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that, but there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. So it's a bunch of cutie girls. That's what I'm seeing. Is this so bad? Is this so bad? I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is unusually high and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. Probably for a wheelchair, because that's how it should be. An entire wall is taken up by blackboards, and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames, simple and efficient. I stop walking in the front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school, but then why would they be here? Oh, it's almost like disability looks a little different on everyone. Anyway, they're probably like me and have something wrong with them, only it's just not immediately obvious. Then I notice that one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking about you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone is looking at me, a girl with really long straight hair that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it will make her invisible. There is one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. I know, and it's worse when you live in the South. Okay, anyway. It's fine. Another girl seems to be making weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rims of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kind of cute. I told you, room of cute girls. So is the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, and so does everyone else, except for the girl in the first row, who has only one hand. I cringe a little. It's so mean. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me that I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hayaso Nakai. I think I'm saying that right. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied, even with what little I said, though. A few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. Could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along while letting my gaze sweep around the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands, which feels like the weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against the other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. It makes me feel a little bad. This isn't a pity party. We're going to do some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi? Hakamichi? Hakamichi, she is the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we will be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Oh, right. Hakamichi is right here. Shizun Hakamichi. Did I say that right? Oh, cutie patootie. As he calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Haha. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi Shi-chan. Oh, okay. Giggling, Misha points to the girl right next to her, another cutie. The one I saw using sign language before. She looks like she's been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. Real. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher is messing with me, saying things like, you'll be able to talk with people, and who better to explain things to you? I hate this main character. I can see you're a little confused, right? Right, but I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth to her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he would have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right. He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know you would be here today, so soon, Hi-chan. Hi-chan? I think that's what she's saying. I don't know. Right? Hi-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say that out loud? It's just a surprise. I never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I imagined. Ha ha ha, you look just like Hai-chan. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had the time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just kind of came straight to class today. Haha. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you get there, not just with school either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Shi-chan? Haha. I mean, yeah, but I was told that's called overthinking. Learn about where you're going. I guess I don't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but that shrug hit me unexpectedly, deeply. You look down. Are you okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things. By asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal. As much as needing help, stop looking like you just failed a test. Wahaha. Alright. And another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal, like Hakamichi or a class rep, all the time. You can just call her Shi-chan. Cool. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Why is she laughing so much? Maybe Shizun would be more appropriate. I don't know if she likes that. Yup, Shizun is fine. Yeah, okay, that'd be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them are so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier, especially about Shizun, who I assumed would be all business. Well, still seems like that. Just less so, I guess. Huh? Alright, we haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. Waha, that too. Shizun glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need no sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Real. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class despite our late start. Shizun and Misha are really capable. It's almost like disabled people are still capable of doing things. Who'd have thought? They're quite different though. The class rep is calm and professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period, time for lunch. Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. That's a ramp, which would make more sense in this setting. And now there's stairs. We descend even below the lobby where I met Muto. I hate that I'm probably saying these all wrong. Down to the bottom floor. Just like everything in this school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement Her enthusiastic statement of the oblivious makes people around us stare, but of the obvious, oh my god. Come back to Earth. Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. There is a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. Whoa, that's crazy. It's almost like it's a disabled school. But any school should probably provide options because a lot of people have dietary restrictions and it's not that rare. Anyway. Ooh. How nice. It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. You are no fun. I hate this character. I pick something at random and follow Shizun to a table sitting opposite of her. Oh my god, I keep getting texts. Okay. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat. Why? Why? Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizun. I don't understand signs, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite. Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guys, so you should ask if there is something. I wonder about the library. I mean, I like books. That feels like obvious. Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately, I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives the kind of frown that makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again. There is. It's in the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizun sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about secret girl stuff or something. Probably. I quickly notice a conversation in sign is not enough to fill a silence. We arrive in the classroom early, but we're not the first. That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row, a cutie patootie. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat, and I can feel her tension all the way from here, as if we're slowly turning into stone just from our presence. Misha and Shizun either don't notice or don't mind it, as they walk directly past her to their seats and begin to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students and finally the teacher. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange. It's as if my brain remembers how this is done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the minutes left. Yeah, real. I shouldn't be this tired on my first day of school. Yeah. Maybe it's the long time I spent in the hospital that made me feel like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Yeah. Tends to do that to you. Before long, the final bell rings. School is finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Shizun are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, Hee-chan. Is it Hee-chan or Hai-chan? I don't... We've got to hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Well, yeah, I mean, we're stuck here, so... Ah, wait, the teacher said I have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside. We join the flow of students making their way down the stairwell and outside, with the girls pointing to their senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to a smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like it's actually part of the main building. This is the auxiliary. Oh my god, I know I'm saying that wrong. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yamaku Foundation office and all the nurses' offices. They even have a swimming pool. How is that official? Don't be silly, Hi-Chat. It's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, all the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. You'll be fine from here, right? We'll be going then. See you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye. A whole building for stuff that has nothing to do with actual education. Dude's gonna lose his mind when he finds out about nursing schools. I guess it's necessary for a place like this. Yeah, with... Oh gosh, I can't make that many jokes. Because there's gonna be somebody who does not understand that I'm disabled, even after... Anyway. I walk in, hoping that this really will only be a quick visit, like the teacher said. On a white door to the left is a green cross with the text head. On the white door to the left is a green cross with the text head nurse and a nameplate. A voice from inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded a bit like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. The room is not large and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around on his office chair to face me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, but the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cup rings lingering on the desk. Hello there, what can I do for you today? He is a young-looking and sort of rugged, but the dimples on his cheeks wash that impression away as he smiles. Are you the nurse? He smiles, like a person who has heard this very same question hundreds of times. Why, yes, I am. It says so on the door, no? Well, technically anyone could be in there, so... You can call me by my name, or just a nurse, like everyone else. Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I probably should grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. Right, I'm a new student, and my homeroom teacher told me to come meet you. My name is Haiso Nakai. Haiso Nakai. I think that's what it is. Gonna keep trying different things. His eyes light up with a revelation, and he snaps his fingers. Oh, you're that Nakai. I was just reading your file this morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia related to congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? His gestures make me sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yes. Good, well, you've probably been briefed about the school enough, so I'll just get over this quickly. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from my staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if there is a problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow, this is like a hospital. Absolute hater. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. Completely different. His joke feels so out of place that I'm left thinking why he even said it. Yeah, just that. It's really weird to have so many medical people at a school. You'll get used to it. I'm not so sure of that myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. Now let me find your file again. While he searches for something on his computer and shuffles stacks of papers around, I'm left to gaze and wander around the room. It's the epitome of generic, I'd like to say. Beige walls and a ceiling, dark gray laminate flooring, and all the equipment you'll expect from a school nurse's office. Even the ridiculous educational posters are hanging on all four walls, reminding me how to eat properly 3 times a day and from all the food groups. Smiling, the nurse draws a thick file from a stack of similarly thick files and opens it. So you've already have medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening, or it won't be much help. Apart from that, do you do any sports, rush stuff, like, I don't know, boxing? He grins at his own joke, but I don't. Well, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to recommend you refrain from doing that, at least for the time being. My lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow, but really, I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick around a ball. I guess I never did it out of burning passion for the sport, but just to have something to do. Any kind of concussion might be dangerous to your heart, or risking another attack is not a good idea. Was the previous one caused by a sudden concussion to the chest area? There is no mention of the cause in your papers. Nah, just a hot girl asked me out. Not exactly. I sidestep the question acceptably, and he glances over at me, his papers with more serious expression on his face. Still, you need to keep your body healthy. Do some exercise would do you some good. We have physical therapy and such available, as I said, but I don't think you really need such heavy measures. Just get some light exercise regularly. Brisk walks or even light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming maybe? There's a pool here. So I was told. You were? Very good. At any rate, I'm sure you've been told this before, but you just need to take care to not overexert yourself. He wags his finger to emphasize the point. No need really. I've heard this 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary risks. Take care of yourself. Okay. He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk, obviously content. Why do I keep saying oblivious? Why do I keep getting text messages? He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on my desk, obviously content. Good, that's it. Then come meet me if you ever needed something. I'm ushered out before I even realize it. A quick visit indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building of the auxiliary building, although to my eyes they still look one and the same. It's the first real look I get at the other students, so I watch people coming out of the school, walking towards the gate or the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they're going. Well, obviously they've been here. It's your first day. Chill. And I still keep thinking that most of them don't look too special for being students at a special school. Then again, neither do I. Does that make me one of them? Does that make me a cripple? Oh no, how horrible. One of us? This revelation. Oh. Does that make me one of them? One of us. I should go somewhere too, to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The weariness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorm set a little way apart from the main building complex. There is a garden of sorts between the school and the dorm, shrubbery, flowers, and that overbearing smell of fresh cut grass that fills the atmosphere. It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel because I haven't been outside at all for so long. The dorm building is made of red brick. Like the others, it feels way too pompous for what it is. I push forward, going inside. So at least kind of know where we're going. It takes more time than necessary to fish out the key I was given from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the dorm is fairly new, functional, and boring. Just like the main building, the halls and the doors are wide to accommodate wheelchairs. The same goes for the elevators at the ends of the hallways. That must be so nice. Anyway. That must be so nice. I poke my head around the corner of the common room door. Inside are a few students watching the television. One nods and gives a quick hello before turning back to the TV. Seems only the girls around here are sociable, I guess. Oh no! I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. See? Optimism. Optimism. I climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off from the main hallway. Each of these minor halls seem to have a toilet and a shower, as well as 4 rooms. That's nice. That's a nice setup. Anyway, About halfway down the hall, I spy room 119. The nameplates on the rooms are adjacent to mine are blank. I guess there are just 2 of us here. Light shines from below the door of room 117, so I knock lightly. Hello, is anyone home? From inside, I hear a few movements, then the clicking of way more locks than I thought these doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. A bespectacled boy is standing in the doorway. He's looking at me very intently through his extremely thick eyeglasses. Who is it? Blind? No, at least not completely. Why would he have glasses if he was? Maybe just for fashion, bro, you don't know. He leans closer to me until our noses are almost touching. His breath stinks of garlic. Haisho Nakai. I'm moving into the next room. I thought I should introduce His face suddenly brightens in realization. He stands back upright, thrusting his hand out in a smiling greeting almost straight to my diaphragm. Oh, sup, dude. My name's Kenji. Ah, hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it, still a little rattled by the sudden change of attitude and vehement welcome. There were some suspicious-looking people going in and out of your room earlier. It's probably my parents. Your parents? You sure? 'Cause they could have been some other people too. Can't judge a book by its cover. Is that a place proverb is left hanging between us awkwardly as I try to think of some way to respond? I'd say the chances are high enough. He shudders and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Haiso. Me, I don't think I could trust the chances. The only one I trust is myself. What kind of disability is... I'm kidding. I'm sure there's something else. Does that mean I shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about it for a while. A wise decision. Damn, you are smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I hope not smart. He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean backwards to dodge it. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Okay, so he can't really see too well. With that, he turns, fumbles around for a moment in search of the door handle, and shuts the door behind him. I slide the key into the lock of the door marked 119. Bleak beige walls, white linen, and a desk made of some type of light wood. Ugly curtains. Just put some decorations in. Put some decorations in. That's on you. It's no one's room and personal like my hospital room was. That's on you. My bags are sitting at the foot of the bed, looking a lot emptier than they did this morning. The closet is sitting open, stocked with my clothes. Also, it seems there are a number of school uniforms hanging there as well. A note is pinned to the sleeve of one of the shirts. Hi, Hai-chan, we unpacked your things and made your bed. They said that if these don't fit, then you should go to the office tomorrow. If you have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom and Dad. What did you bring? I mean, other than bed sheets, and then if some regular clothes, but then the rest of it's your uniforms, then what did you bring? What was in the bags? Well, at least I don't have to worry about unpacking. I kind of hoped I would have, then there would have been something to do. It's still too early. I put the note down on the desktop and lie on the bed feeling drained. Lying there makes me want to read something, but I have nothing with me. I wonder if the hospital conditioned me for wanting to read whenever I have nothing to do. The restless urge just keeps growing until I have to stand up. Maybe it's stress or something. I was pretty nervous about it coming, and for the entire day today too. I still am, I think. Damn, I have to distract myself somehow, so I won't be this unnatural all the time. Make a YouTube video. It's my tip. Tomorrow I'll go borrow some books from the library. Yeah, I'll do that. But for now, the bottles of medications neatly arranged on my night table catch my eye. I pick up one and shake it just to hear the contents rattle inside and read the glued-on pharmacy label. Haiso Nakai, 2 tablets daily to stay alive. I wish mine said that. I wish mine were that straightforward. It doesn't really say that. Oh. Okay, it doesn't really say that, but it could just as well. It's kind of twisted, having your life depend on chemicals like this. I resent it a little, but what choice do I have? With a sigh, I begin my new daily ritual of taking the right number of pills from each bottle, being careful to check the correct dosages. I lie down, feeling hollow and uncertain, and after that, I keep staring at the blank, unfamiliar ceiling for a long time. It doesn't start to look any more familiar, not even after darkness falls and long shadows draw across my room like fingers. The sheets feel slightly more comfortable, warm, and nest-like against the chill that passes for room temperature here. Soon the lighter shade of darkness that is the ceiling looks like every ceiling does at night, and it becomes the only thing I recognize anymore. The night beckons me to sleep, and I feel the coldness of unfamiliarity and fear creeping up my spine once again. I keep drifting further away from the world I knew. Oh, my eyes are closed. And we're awake. I wake up in a strange room. Don't tell me we have memory loss. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I have forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the third room this year that I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that indeed it's me who's supposed to be the one living here. My bags on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medications on the night table. I stare at the bottles for the moment, deliberating until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from a foil sheet. I down them with a chaser of water without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out from under the sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one, a natural one. It feels like a school uniform as it should, but not much different from what I used to wear before. It goes for other things too. So far, the place seems more or less like a normal school, except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kinji yesterday, Misha's constant laughter, and Shizen's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure the others are. Or perhaps people like them are what passes for normal around here. Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after classes yesterday, so maybe there are some clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around here after classes yesterday, so maybe there are clubs. If so, I wonder if I should join one. I'm starting to trip over my words more now, so I should really wrap things up. Although the class question remains on my mind, I decide to ask Shizun about it as we split into groups. After all, she did say that if I had anything I wanted to know, I should ask her. She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so that the top is perfect and evenly flat. Aha, sorry, Si-chan. Is there anything you wanted from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, Hee-chan. My first thought is that she means Hai-chan. Oh my god. The first thought is that she means she doesn't know, which is worrying, maybe being too negative. Well, anyway, Misha, don't prove me right. Oh, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. Real. There is also school events like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in the school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you actually transferred at a busy time. Maybe you can help out too. Sure. And what else are we gonna do? What is the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know, Hai-chan, but the truth is, it's a local event and I'm not from this area, so... She starts signing desperately to Shizun asking to bail her out. Shizun adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish. Grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. Huh? Okay. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest as she shouts Shizun's words out at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud. I can see heads turning to look in our direction. Not so loud. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change the time. Now it's about delicious fried food and amusing little games that you play to win prizes. Haha. The teacher clears his throat very loudly, batting his long wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Finally noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. Shizun doesn't feel embarrassed at all, though, brushing it off without a care. We are in the middle of class and we should start working. That's right, Shi-chan. What? That's right. Hi-chan. Are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? It could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchanged between them. Misha's tone has also changed, although it does that with every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizun look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with long dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. It doesn't seem like she's working in any group, and no one seems to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher, who's also looking at the dark-haired girl go. Why doesn't he say anything? Hi-chan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or was Misha just looking at me, looking after the girl who left? No, nothing. Okay, well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay, waha. Okay, Hi-chan, perfect. The rest of the class passes uneventfully. The girl with long hair never comes back. Before I have time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, probably the nurse's office. The teacher informs us that it is time to stop working. Shizun looks a little more annoyed that we've only just barely managed to finish all of our work on time. But I'm just glad we finished it at all. It's not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, Hi-chan. Impossible. Really? Really? I've noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what anyone else is saying at any given time. Obviously, it must be so Shizun can understand it. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizun. I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really, Shizun can't hear me, but it would be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, she's at least looking at me. This is all very confusing, and will all take some time getting used to. It's not a contest because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize on the line, it's not really a contest. Shizun's eyes flash dangerously with a competitive glare. She stares at me, as if surprised that I was challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. I never noticed how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly a alluring gaze. I think we're falling in love. Are you sure, Hi-chan? Very sure. Ha ha ha, you're wrong, Hi-chan, because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities, and the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Wahaha. She soon pushes her glasses up to the bridge of her nose in a matter-of-fact way. I'd argue more, but the bell rings and she quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I'd almost forgotten I was supposed to have lunch with them. Where do you want to eat? The cafeteria? That's so plain. Okay, let's go. There's more options? Plain, well, I guess. At my old school, I liked to eat outside near the back of the building. It was a good spot, but I didn't find it until near the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there is a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Shizun and Misha pull me towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in the classroom or outdoors. I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, Hai-chan, you wanted to know about the clubs and stuff, right? Right. Shi-chan. Okay, I guess it makes sense to ask first. Exchanging little nods of confirmation, they turn and face me again. Misha straightens her posture as if she's about to deliver a speech. Hi-chan, do you have anything you're really interested in? I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. There's a book club, right, Shi-chan? Right, but it seems like they have all the members they could possibly have right now. Sorry, Hai-chan, it's really a popular club. That's unfortunate. Okay, but more to the point, Hai-chan does this mean that you don't have anything already in mind? Not really. Good, great, that's great. That's great, Hai-chan, really great. Ha ha ha, wow. What are you planning? Why is it so great? No reason. Well, Hai-chan, other clubs, and the upcoming festival, there is one more thing. Student council. I see, I didn't know the school had a student council. That was very melodramatic setup though, just to tell me that. I'm pretty sure the two of them know this because Shizun looks a little embarrassed about it, and Misha is laughing. Shizun quickly retakes control of the discussion in a manner of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has voice whatever she says. We're gonna have to find a stopping point because I'm starting to trip on too many of my words. Hahaha. Right. Hai-chan, you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day, Hai-chan. Shi-chan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shi-chan is the president. I'm starting to get the suspicion that Shizun and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. As if reading my mind, Shizun quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Haha, of course we're not trying to get you to join because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try to get you to... So you're admitting that... No, we admit nothing. I mean, Hai-chan, of course, it would be nice if you joined and we'd appreciate it. But even without all of that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one's school. Yep, it's true, Hai-chan. Besides, don't you want to spend time with us after school, Hai-chan? I can't tell if she's being genuine or if this is just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest. Although they're already pretty cute to begin with. At least he's getting that. At least he's understanding that the cutie patooties are interacting with us. Well. So it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, Hai-chan. Was that easy? What? No. Aw, see, Shi-chan? Of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right. Though it would be boring if it went smoothly. Oh well, Shi-chan owes me candy now. You were betting on it? Hey, my life's not a game here. Shizun seems very intrigued by this. When Misha signs it to her, the aggressive glint returns to her eyes. Wahaha, that's interesting. Hai-chan, let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about rich man, poor man, Hai-chan? If you lose, you have to join the student council. No, absolutely not. Aw, why not? Because you two have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Yeah, but that isn't my goal. So what this means is that both of you can team up and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I will have to decline. Hai-chan, I'm very offended. Are you saying that you don't trust us and that we would pull something as disingenuous That makes me sad. We're ruining our chances. Join the student council, bro. What else are you gonna do? You literally were complaining how boring it was. Sorry? It's hard to tell where Shizun's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council. No. How about a game of paper football instead of Rich Man, Poor Man? Paper football? Yeah, it's a game they play in America. You make a triangle and then you try to shoot it past the goalpost that the other player makes with their fingers. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Hi-chan. And it's also played by elementary and middle school children, Shi-chan. Haha, that means it's a game that really separates the boys from men. Sure, more like the boys from slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not going to play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it. Yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hi-chan? Hi-chan. Look, I keep slipping between the two and I'm not even trying. Shizun frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempts to get me into the student council, but I am a little curious about what the student council does here. It's an opportunity, bro. Just take it. I've never been on one before, or even known anyone who was a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizun and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, Hi-chan. How about Risk? The game of world domination. I don't know what that is. It's really fun, Hi-chan. You fight for control of the world with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizun would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Ah, really? Shi-chan, we just play for fun. Hi-chan, Shi-chan hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay, perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room then, Hi-chan. I feel like we just got drafted to the student council. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. I grimace to tell them how much I don't like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end, I agree, but only after getting Shizun to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete, just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. Mysterious cutie in the corner. During afternoon class, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizun and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I've been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on their guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to his cell. Haha, what's wrong, Hi-chan? That's right, we're just gonna play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha, this all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking about when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Would that be the worst thing? Well, this is highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hi-chan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capacity to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression is unchanging. Misha signs something amusedly to Shizun, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizun. Dang. Shizun opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it's quite large. Maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center, surrounded by chairs and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back. I assume that's Shizun's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to the side, as well as extras perhaps. Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could have at least potted a plant in here or something, but the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. But I managed to ask why that's the case. Shizun claps her hands together very energetically. Hi, Chan. Let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Haha, okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain it to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizun takes out what looks to be a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizun cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizun's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start to feel more competitive than what I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizun's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Shi-chan wants to know that... Hi-chan, Shi-chan wants you to know that you are taking a long time to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit, and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Haha. You're so competitive, Shizun. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. I swear, I actually am really good at English. Promise. You know what? It's not just me. She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizun, who, in return, signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizun bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha is daunted by the pace of her heated signaling. Wait, slow down. Please slow down, Shi-chan. Hi-chan, Shi-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine with childlike mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. She has a point. Attack aggressively or it's a trap. Attack aggressively. She's either really mocking me or trying to trick me. I have nothing else to lose, though, so I might as well try something different. Maybe, if I spread my forces and try to control more territories, I can recoup the advantage. Shizun seems to focus on conquering whole nations, so maybe I can sacrifice my hold on continents to gain more small countries. It's worth a shot. A few turns later, I end up losing the game anyway. Shizun adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. I win, yay. There's no need to translate that, it was pretty clear. Haha, don't look so sad. Hi-chan, you were really giving it your best. That's what I thought. Sometimes you do your best and it just isn't good enough though. If anyone knows that, it's me. You did very well for someone who just learned how to play today. Hi-chan, you attacked Iceland and North America at the same time. That's a very daring move. Shi-chan is impressed. The mark of great people is that they are daring, and they can follow through. You're already halfway there. Isn't that great, Hi-chan? That isn't enough. Just potential isn't enough. There is no point to potential if you don't take the first step. There is no point to that if you don't keep going. I want to see more. You're right, Shi-chan, but that's so demanding. Shoujo leans forward, suddenly looking a lot less playful and more like the serious person I expected her to be from the start. Hi, Jan, would you like to join student council? She really doesn't waste any time, does she? But it's only my second day of school, so I'm hesitant about committing to something so early. I haven't even taken a look at the other clubs yet, but spending time with Shizune and Misha doesn't seem like something I would hate. I still need more time to think about it before I decide for sure. Maybe. I'll get back to you on it. Okay, hi Jan, but I hope you're not just saying that so we don't feel bad. No, really. Really? Hi Jen, if you're gonna say that, you're saying that it is definitely the truth and there can't be any mistaking it. I know. I guess I should have my revenge for losing at the very least. Shizune smiles in a mischievous way that feels like twisting the knife in the wound of my loss. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Me with this game. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. Is it not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. One flight of stairs up, and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there are a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn a corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it is not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar, so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for a library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear of doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks open as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it is much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. Hey. How are you? This is not what I was expecting, but it's a pleasant surprise. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing in the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently, having taken the time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but she doesn't look at me. Hello there, may I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi, sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I am intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step towards the seat opposite of her, the girl resting the teacup and the saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling that she, and the slight cloudiness in her eyes, means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're the new student to Yamaku. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling that my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accented by her restrained bow of greeting. One which I have to match before realizing the futility of the action. Just because homegirl's blind doesn't mean that you have to not bow to her. Bro. I'm Lily Sato. Pleased to meet you. I think I said that right. I don't know. Haiso Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It must be the process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizun and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. Real. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing all of the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of offering and preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room are you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizun and some of my classmates told me it was on this floor. Ooh. So you're just gonna forget the history that you have with the other girls because of Cutie Patootie number... I'm gonna call her probably Cutie Patootie number 4. Because we still don't know the backstory of long black hair girl that disappears from the room. I think she's Cutie Patootie 3. Because we met Misha and Shizun first, so Cutie Patootie 1 and 2. I'm thinking about this too much. She finishes pouring the water into the teacup. She nods, and a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup, indicating it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as of most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him, most do. She sets down the tea and I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nevertheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So which classes are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct, I'm in class 3-2, which is on the 3rd floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. Why is that your reaction? Bro has no game. I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face though, she doesn't seem to in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Ah, sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this one would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. Well, the same can't be said for everyone. Many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her seems all too ready to jump ship from this particular topic. I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I'd like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizun, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizun's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems more relaxed, calm, and almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club and the book club in the room near the library. There's also numerous small ones though, such as the art and music clubs. At the time when I was just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if the school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. I've really let my guard down around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I start drinking it as Lily does the same. As I look over the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room is distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Haiso. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. No, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think. It's probably something I should have asked Shizun when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Of course, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me, and it did. Which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's all right. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, that'd be great. Thanks. She stands up to follow me. She takes a hold of a straight retractable cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together, we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match her as we slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door of a warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here. Considering the time, it isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says to the thin air, since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. Aw. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily, how can I help you? Her voice is trained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing, I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk while I was looking for a pencil dropped, and then when I was looking for both of them, you came in and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. Hee. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression. She then shuffles for some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a library perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that I arrived? I think I read that wrong. Right. They finally came in. I can't believe it took so long, but I missed her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic. I'm sure she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you mean to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. He's with me, Yuko, and Haiso. This is Haiso, a new student. Haiso, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Haiso, right, Haiso. Pleased to meet you too, Haiso. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Aw, real. You're a real one, Yuko. Would you like to tell Haiso a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How is it any responsibility how it's any responsibility at all? I don't get it, but her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt it for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. So, there are a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. Seems to work, at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or fourth of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Makes sense given all the blind students that be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed. That's probably why. They spend more on new books than my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. It's so troublesome, and they weigh so much, I wish I could quit this job. A very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's all right with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I studied the spines of books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. I guess I'll never be stuck for choice in here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, the large print and Braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood in the room I had tea with Lily It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lillian stuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has an odd student sitting at a desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting in one of the several beanbags. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. She's reading a book, keeping it close to her face, which makes her look like she's really into it. From the way she was acting today, I had her pegged as more of a delinquent than a bookworm. In fact, her mysterious disappearance from the class raises all sorts of whys in my head. Intrigue floats slowly but surely towards the surface, and before I know it, I'm walking towards the mysterious girl with long hair. I guess there's no harm in introducing myself as I would with anyone else. She's a classmate, after all. I walked over to the beanbag. I take my seat and lay my books beside it. The girl starts looking scaredly up at me from underneath her fringe. This is the first I've seen her this close. Underneath her long, dense bangs, I can see a part of her face, at least a third, if not half, is pretty badly scarred. My eyes are immediately drawn to the scars, subconsciously peeking past her hair until they meet her own eyes. For a second, I am shocked, and I divert my eyes to the book in her hands before I realize that looking away probably makes it worse. It takes too many seconds to collect myself, and I remember why I walked up to her in the first place. I'm just gonna go and introduce myself. Hi, I'm new here. Hi, so Nakai. We're in the same class. Nothing. I just transferred here the other day. Maybe you don't remember? I did a self-introduction too. The girl doesn't seem to say a word, but simply stares at me wide-eyed. I'm still getting used to the place, so I'm trying to meet as many people as I can. So, what's your name? Hanako. Cute. Her speech is stuttering and so quiet that it is barely audible even in the still library. Somehow I think my delinquent impression of her was wrong. Hanako, eh? So what are you reading? She gently tips the book backwards so I can read the title, at the same time hiding her face behind it. She must have noticed me staring before. Life of Pi? I've never heard of it before. What's it about? A boy and a tiger on a boat. That's a very good description, actually. I can see this is taking some time. Sounds interesting. Is it any good? She nods from behind the book but stays silent. She looks kind of tense, a bit like Yuko earlier, but in a different way, more like petrified with terror, I'd say. So, the mystery delinquent girl turned out to be anything but she's quivering in a way that makes it look like she is mortally afraid of me. The only way out of this so far, as I can tell, is to try to get some normal conversation going. Is it a library book? I'm looking for new ones to read, but there's just so many. No, it's mine. Oh, so do you come here often? A huge blush spreads on Hanako's face, and her eyes widen far larger than I thought was possible for eyes to do. Uh-oh, did she interpret my lame attempt at small talk as a feeble attempt to pick her up? I mean, I didn't mean it like that. I gotta go do something. Without warning, Hanako takes off and runs towards the counter. Her hair-like takeoff catches me so off guard that I don't manage to go after her until she has had a good head start. By the time I reach the counter, she is nowhere to be seen. Lily and Yuko are happily chatting away. Knowing that I won't be able to catch Hanako myself, I approach the girls. Hey, did you see or notice a girl run past here? Maybe. What did she look like? Long dark hair, kind of shy. She had, well, some scars on her face. You wouldn't be talking about Hanako, would you? Yeah, that's her. I saw her reading and tried to talk to her, but I think I scared her off or something. Oh dear. Yuko, would you excuse me? I'd better try to find her. Sure, just hold on to these until you come back. Sure, I'll just hold on to these till you come back. What's going on? I'm sorry, but I'll have to explain it to you some other time. Right, I'll see you later then. Lily hastily grabs her cane and hurries out of the library, leaving me alone with Yuko. I don't think I'll ever get a hang of this place. Did I do something wrong? What did you do? Nothing. I just talked to her, tried to get to know her. Didn't even manage to get started. Yuko sighs and looks awfully bothered, even more so than she did before. I guess you weren't wrong, so much as tactless. Tactless? That girl is a bit of a special case. It's like she never really talks to anyone. Isn't that a bit strange? I wonder, it's just how she is, I think. Yuko doesn't sound all convincing. Then again, maybe this is just the norm around here. Everyone has their own problems, or else they wouldn't be here. Perhaps I was being a little tactless after all. But how do I deal with these people? Forcing myself to act overly casual only makes me feel phony. It's not that deep. I don't like this main character. Like I'm supposed to be ignoring the elephant in the room. Yuko fidgets, looking like she wants to say something to that, but resists it. I think it's only an elephant if you feel that way. Real. I guess she doesn't have a good sense of self-restraint. It makes me smile, and she blushes heavily. What, did that sound stupid? No, it sounded really wise. I guess you're right. It's more about me than anyone else. Neither of us have anything to add, so Yuko fills the silence by shuffling some papers around. People who have papers on their desks really like doing that. Did you find any books? It should be closing soon. I mean, this library should be closing, but I have to do it. I hope it's not too inconvenient for you. Oh yeah, I want some books, but I left them over there because I'll just go grab them. I fetched my stack of books, and from beside the beanbags where Hanako and I were sitting, and returned to the counter. Wow, you read a lot, don't you? I surprised myself with that too, at least when I really think about it. I had a lot of free time earlier, so I just kind of started reading books to fill the time. I couldn't do much else. I see. But she doesn't say anything else, she just checks out the books for me. I guess this is what you call tact. Holding the library books in one arm, I trawl my pocket for the key to the door. A sudden sound from behind me startles me, making me nearly drop the books I'm carrying, or the key that I almost managed to get into the lock. Who is it? I turn around to see who is talking to me. It's Kenji. He seems to be in a friendly mood, although the light glinting off his glasses in the dark gives him a sinister look. It's just me. This makes him pause and lick his lips nervously. Who is me? I don't know anyone called me. Are you some new guy again? His voice is suddenly strained and quick. Yes, but we've met before yesterday. I don't think so. I would remember someone who I met only yesterday. When was that? What day is it today? I try to ignore him. Is he joking or what? Prove that we've met before. You live across the hall, you're Kenji. Kenji jumps back, his eyes filled with uncomprehending fear. How do you know my name? Damn, this can only mean one of two things. Either we have met, and you're telling the truth, and I just can't remember it, or you are a spy. He pauses. A psychic spy. His eyes dart around me, trying to peek into my room, although it's hard to believe he can see anything through those thick glasses. His mood swung from friendly to manic in less than a minute. I'm not psychic. How do I know that? I'm not a mind reader. Kenji points a finger in my face damningly. Unlike you. Stop that, man. We met yesterday. What's wrong with you? I live in this room. Lies. If you think you can pass as Haiso because I'm legally blind, you are sorely mistaken. You don't even look like him. I mean, the resemblance is real slim. Maybe at a distance. But who do you think you're kidding? I want to grab him by the shoulders and shake him. Exasperated, I rub my eyes and let out a heavy sigh. Stay there. Kenji comes closer, one careful step at a time. I stay still, lest he assault me physically, although I doubt he could manage much damage even if he did. Oh wait, I see it now. Damn, it really is you. Sigh again, and then once again for good measure, I step backwards just in case. What's up, man? You don't look too good. I think something wrong? I don't know, just had something stupid happen to me. A few stupid things, actually. Even if you discount this one. I can't get a proper touch on these people here, and I have no idea if it's because of me or because of them. I don't know why I'm telling this to Kenji. It's not like we've had any contact either. That's rough, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry for calling you a psychic spy and all, but you can never be too careful. It's the hard reality we live in. I'm slowly starting to think that Kenji isn't necessarily living in the same reality as the rest of us. You see, this is how it is, the world. There is no justice. You see, even when I lose, I win, because I don't lose the lesson. What does that even mean? It doesn't matter. He dismisses it flatly with a wave of his hand. So what happened? Why the long face? Do you have a long face? Oh, it's nothing. I just scared some girl off accidentally. Literally, too. She ran away from me. What's my fault, really? I think. I'm not really used to all of this yet. Girl? Cute one? Asking the real questions. Cute? That's a hard question. I hate men. You had a nice body and really beautiful hair. But the face? Shut the up. I guess I could go with it. She was cute. I'm gonna force you to say it. Little rat. I knew it. There's a lot of cute girls here. Okay, Kinji has game. I believe he has game, because at least he can recognize that. There's a lot of cute girls here. A strangely disproportionate amount. I believe this is one of the dark secrets of this school. Kinji's onto something. Yeah. I tried to warn you, man, but did you listen? I don't remember any such warning. Dark secrets? Yes. Dark secrets, extremely dark, like a black hole. Have you noticed that the number of girls in the school is slightly but significantly higher than the number of boys? It's like 60 to 40. He turns his head to the left and stares off in the distance at nothing. Why is it like this? I mean, to the untrained eye, it doesn't appear to be that bad, but that's a full 20%. One would think the school has such a huge pool of women that... One would think that a school with such a huge pool of women would be a man's dream, but no. What I am about to tell you could blow your mind. Are you ready? I don't know where this is going, but I think I won't be missing much by cutting out now. No, I'm not ready. I only get as far as turning the doorknob before Kinji starts talking again, showing that he really doesn't care if my mind is blown or not. I believe the school is a battleground, the site of feminist infiltration. Not the music change. Not the music change. This disparity in the number of men to women is a clear sign of how far they have come. In case of this Cold War turns hot, they have superiority in numbers. Just another skirmish in the internal war against the forces of the feminists. They're everywhere in Japan. Women outnumber men. It's not a 60-40 split, but it's only a matter of time, man. Even in America, women are majority by a hair. They're building up their numbers. In the past, the buildup of a military has always been the clearest sign of imminent war. Japan is just the first step. Our economy is badass, and the country itself is small and isolated, yet a huge part in the Pacific in terms of political value. The perfect target. They're so cunning, as expected of women. Kinji, I was not aware of your game. I'm sorry. Soon, the day will come when Kinji's voice trails off ominously. That's why you can't trust them. They'll string you along and then kill you just as they killed me. You will end up just like me. Oh, hell no. I can't stop myself from blurting it out. Hey, what the hell does that mean? You said it, not me. It's the best I can think of. So you're not supposed to say something like that. Damn, so rude. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah, vast feminist conspiracy. Stop it, stop. I lost you way back there somewhere around feminist infiltration. Too hard to follow? That's cool. I have some graphs and stuff in my room. And puppets. Do you like puppets? No puppets. You don't like puppets? Okay, graphs are cool. Though, right? Kinji, I was not aware of your game. He speaks energetically, responding almost before I'm done talking, moving his hands in an animated way as he continues to rant on. This is too strange. I had him pegged as relatively normal, but it's clear that I was wrong. Something on your mind, dude? Just thinking about what it's like to be the last sane man in an insane world. I hate this main character. You're no fun. Kinji frowns, deeply upset. You mean that's you? That can't be me, because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. That is my dream. You can't just steal a man's dream. What the hell? There can't be two last sane men. It would invalidate the whole last part. And that part is kind of important. There can only be one, like in that foreign movie where there could only be one, and in the end, there's only one dude left because that was the point. I've never seen anyone talk so heatedly and so defensively about absolutely nothing before. Anyway, if you wait here, I can get my graphs. I can also have a list of other dark and complex conspiracies that the school holds as tangled as... Quick, finish my analogy for me, be a pal. I'm going to bed now, it's extremely late. That doesn't sound like an apology, but whatever. I like you seem like a cool dude. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about when I try to explain the vast feminist conspiracy to them. Denial is a terrible thing. Later. He claps me on the back and then vanishes into his room so quickly and quietly it's like he didn't even open the door, but instead walked right through like a ghost. I don't know if I can fully digest what just happened, so I give up and just go to my room, kicking off my shoes and falling face first into a bed. It takes some time to relax and get up so I can get started on my homework. It's because the sheets are cool and comforting against my cheeks and it feels good just laying there with my eyes closed. The school is like some kind of bizarre, surreal island. It is isolated on top of a mountain and each person is stranger than the last. I just can't seem to fit in. What irony. One would think that fitting in a place that's made for people who are unfit for anywhere else would be easy. This is just your problem, dude. Maybe I'm trying too hard. Although I say it, it doesn't help take the edge off and the words are left echoing off the empty walls. I guess it's not as bad as I expected, though. The place really is more a school and less a hospital pretending to be a school than I thought it would be. If nothing else, the scenery is beautiful. I open one eye, seeing the school books and bottles of pills arranged side by side on my desktop. Maybe this place is much like a normal school, after all. Yay! So that is where I'm gonna put a pause on this for the day. But I think this is pretty interesting so far. We've met some people, we're 2 days in, and, you know, maybe Kenji was right. There is a lot of cute girls. He may have been onto something, but we'll have to find out in the next episode. And for now, toodles, my poodles.